Business owners spend years building up value in business and unfortunately don't spend as much time planning for the next stages of their entrepreneurial life cycle, essentially. Some of these strategies might require changing up the corporate structure, the corporate ownership, the shares of the corporation, and some of these elements do require some steps being taken years before some of the increase in value is obtained inside the company itself.
In 2026, passing the torch to the next generation of leadership is no longer just a quick transactional event. It is a multi-layered journey that dictates your ultimate financial confidence and legacy.
Get in touch with them and talk to them about potential future plans in the future, or helping them do some stress test questions and just creating those discussions and start developing the plan.
Hi everyone, this is Maheen and welcome to the CanadianSME Small Business Podcast. Today we are exploring the deep personal and strategic architecture of a business transfer, because in 2026, passing the torch to the next generation of leadership is no longer just a quick transactional event. It is a multi-layered journey that dictates your ultimate financial confidence and legacy. Joining us is Shawn Filion, the Senior Wealth Management Advisor at Desjardins in Eastern Ontario, an MBA, CFP, and veteran strategist with over 20 years of wealth management and financial planning experience. Shawn specializes in helping entrepreneurs build, protect, and safely transfer corporate wealth. He's an advisor who masterfully simplifies complex financial concepts into highly actionable wealth strategies. So there's lots to uncover, so we'll unpack right after we dive in. So without further ado, let's welcome our guest, Shawn. Shawn, it's a pleasure having you on the show today with us. Thank you for joining. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm very well, thank you.
Very pleased to have you with us this afternoon. So, Shawn, let's begin and open our discussion by understanding that, how do we define the real business transfer? Because many business owners, they mistake a true organizational transfer for a simple weekend sale or property flip. Tell us, why is business succession becoming so urgent for Canadian entrepreneurs?
Business owners spend years building up value in business and unfortunately don't spend as much time planning for the next stages of their entrepreneurial life cycle, essentially. Some wait for a triggering event like health reasons, maybe some family pressure, or also maybe a buyer coming in with the right price, essentially. And business owners need to understand that the business transfer itself affects many people. It affects themselves, obviously, their families, it affects their employees, and it affects the business itself. It's estimated that 3/4 of business owners will transition towards retirement in the next 10 years.
Right.
And the average business owner is 58 years old.
Wow. Those are some really good stats. And it tells us that realizing that succession is an ongoing corporate process rather than a standalone transaction, it gives us the runway to safeguard our operations structural stability. Now, Shawn, let's explore the first critical steps in business transition planning. Tell us, what questions should founders ask before planning a business transition?
So, great question. Now, business owners should ask themselves maybe personal questions to start, maybe some clarity on what they want to accomplish after the transition. Also, they should ask themselves questions about their desired lifestyle after the transition, after passing the torch, as you mentioned. And during this stages is try to quantify the lifestyle and then determining what would essentially be needed from the sale of the business in order to fund that future lifestyle. Once there's some clarity had on the personal side, then the business owner can shift attention towards the business itself. What is needed in the business for the business to continue operating without the founder being present? what are some of the key roles inside the business that would be needed in order to continue operations? Are there various other things that need to be implemented in the business in order for it to continue without the founder being present?
Right, right. No, identifying our true personal timeline and internal succession goals early, it prevents us from being forced into a reactive market decision down the line. So thank you so much for highlighting the first steps of the transition planning. Next up, Sean, let's look at the risks of treating succession as only a transaction. Tell us, why should business transfers involve more than just a sale price?
Absolutely. Business should involve more than a sale price because it's essentially planning for legacy of a business with employees, and we definitely want the business to continue operating as a business. And we do wish to have success for the people taking over the person taking over the business. Now, that being said, business owners should always have a good general knowledge of what is needed to have a successful transfer, and should always have a good idea too how much the business is worth as well, and have those discussions. Some elements of a business transfer need to be prepared years ahead of time.
Right.
It's not just at the moment of the transaction. It's not just the sale price. One needs to ask themselves, what do I need from the business in order to fund my own personal life as well, my personal lifestyle? And yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, that tells us a lot. And this is my favorite question, in a way that it tells us the dangers of the transaction only mindset, which is, how do we find that balance, or how do we balance the emotional, the legal, and the operational elements of our departure that guarantees a smooth structural handover that actively preserves our company's long-term legacy? To all the founders and the listeners, business owners that are watching, in 2026, selling your company without a comprehensive strategy is a massive financial gamble. Sean and the advisory team at Desjardins, Canada's largest corporative financial group, are fundamentally rewriting the succession playbook. They provide business transfer strategies that seamlessly integrate personal tax planning, corporate share evaluation, and customized estate protections well before you even approach the negotiation table. So, if you're ready to stop leaving your hard earned corporate assets exposed to sudden tax liabilities and start building a transition plan that actually works in practice, visit their website today and secure your lifetime of hard work in an elite corporative partner. We're going to take a short break. Don't go anywhere, because when we return, we'll explore how smart wealth and tax planning can make all the difference in a successful business transition.
Hey, you think you know UPS? Yeah, that's us. Everybody knows that. You know what you didn't know? This. Okay, try to keep up. Ocean, us. Ground, rail, air, so us. Guess who? Us. Customs cleared, borders cleared, done. Us. Still with me? Wait for it. Boom. Us. Intelligent, automated, fulfillment. Us. Yep. Healthcare too. Digital your thing? Yeah. Well, book it, ship it, track it. You feeling me yet? Yep. That's all us. That's all UPS.
Welcome back to the podcast. Let's continue our conversation with Sean and dive into the strategies that help business owners maximize value and prepare for the future. Now, Sean, let's explore aligning business exits with smart wealth and tax strategy. Tell us, why should tax and wealth planning begin years before a business sale?
The business sale should essentially start years before any transition towards new ownership. There are definitely some tax strategies that need to be looked at or considered in order to make sure that at least the less amount of taxes are paid, or to ensure that the business will run successfully after the founder has departed from the business.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some of these strategies might require changing up the corporate structure, the corporate ownership, the shares of the corporation. And some of these elements do require some steps being taken years before some of the increase in value is obtained inside the company itself.
Mm-hmm.
A business owner should always have a good general idea of the value of the business as the years go, as he builds the business. You never know if ever a buyer would come in at one point and give you a really good price on your business. Are you ready to sell this enterprise?
Right.
On the personal side, definitely have to look at what is needed to fund retirement, fund the next stages of the life, and then also prepare some strategies that would be implemented way ahead of time before the transition.
This is great, and it tells us a lot in terms of if we initiate our personal financial profile early, it ensures that we can leverage structural tools like the lifetime capital gains exemption to really dramatically maximize our net cash outcomes. So thank you for putting this emphasis on the early wealth optimization and asset execution. Finally, let's look at stress testing succession plans for the real world execution. Tell us, how can entrepreneurs test whether their succession plan will actually work?
Good question. I would break that into two. One on the personal side. From the personal perspective, will the transition work out? Usually, when working with a wealth professional, we'll build projections
Mhm.
on the evolution of one's wealth, their income levels, and we do want to make sure that the business owner can successfully maintain his desired lifestyle throughout the rest of his life. The business owner should also ask themselves questions, like stress test questions,
Mm.
saying, what would happen if I were to not be able to work? Or what happens if, what would happen to my family, for example, if I couldn't work and I couldn't operate the business? Is my family or the people around me in the business able to keep working the business without me being there?
Mm.
So asking some real life questions, making sure that documents and good governance are in order, whether the shareholder agreement, the personal wills of the business owner, it's also should be reviewed, and essentially is preparing for real scenarios.
Working closely with cross-functional advisors such as yourselves, it really to simulate post-sale operation, it really guarantees that our enterprise will continue to scale without our daily supervision. This was a great conversation. Thank you so much, Shawn, for walking our listeners through so much that they can do to actually also stress test our plans for the real world. Now that we're wrapping up, what is the best first step for a business owner that is preparing for a succession?
In my opinion, best first step is to talk to our existing professionals around us.
Mhm.
And if we don't have any of those professionals, like a good accountant, a lawyer, a wealth advisor, or even a business evaluator, is to get in touch with them and talk to them about potential future plans in the future, or helping them do some stress test questions. What would happen if? What would happen if, health reasons I couldn't work? What happens if a buyer would come up and want to buy my business? And just creating those discussions and start developing the plan. Now, the province of Ontario has put a certain importance on succession planning and have put up a really nice website called Succession Ontario. And there is a readiness questionnaire where we can see how ready we would be for any business succession.
That is a spectacular reminder that the true value of your business sale is completely driven by the discipline of your pre-sale preparation. And thank you so much for highlighting all those great tips, Shawn, for our listeners to really pick up and use those for when they're preparing for their succession. So again, thank you for being here and for sharing such great expertise and your vision.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
And that was Shawn Filion from Desjardins, a masterclass in restructuring the business transfer journey, minimizing unexpected tax liabilities before an exit, and understanding how early wealth planning secures your personal freedom in 2026. Thanks for joining to the podcast. Please be sure to subscribe and visit CanadianSME.ca for more resources. And to learn more about how we are supporting the ecosystem, please visit Canadian SME Small Business Foundation at smbefoundation.ca. A special shout out to UPS and ADP, our partners, for their ongoing commitment to empowering small businesses across Canada.